Good afternoon, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. My name is Matthew Spear. I am the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Good to have you here today. What are we talking about? Well, obviously, this whole thing about cocaine is interesting at the White House. And you've got two different sides. You've got the side that I would consider myself on, conservatives and Republicans who are up in arms, who are screaming from the rooftops. You guys have been saying for years that Don Jr. is a cokehead and all these other things about him. Well, now we have cocaine in the White House. You have Hunter Biden there, put two and two together. And because of that, therefore, it's his cocaine and people are upset. Well, I think that's a little myopic and in the old thought process. And then you've got the Democrats who are saying, it's just cocaine, man, no big deal. Everyone's done a few lines, parties, whatever. No, that's once again a little myopic in the thought process. There is a happy medium. One bag of cocaine isn't going to bring down the government, even supposedly if they went ahead and did a full evacuation because a single bag. Obviously, that bag was found, an alert was called. Now, there's a theory that I have, and several that have been proven right, is one that the cocaine wasn't found there to begin with in this general public library, which they called it public access. First of all, there's nothing public access in the White House. It is one of the most secure locations on the planet. You would have an easier time reaching Atlantis with a styrofoam cup and a plastic bag. There is no way that you're just going to walk in and drop a bag of Coke in the White House. You're not going to get it through security either. There are several fail-safe systems, ventilation systems, security checkpoints, hand swabbing. Background checks are done before anyone steps foot in there. This is ludicrous to think that somehow magically a bag of cocaine came through with the public. So my first inclination was that's not where they found it, and I wound up being right. Then they said it was found in a place of conveyance where everybody comes in and kind of all gathers, sorry, itchy ear, all gather and drop their cell phones off and everything else. And of course, people dump their pockets. And then some drug addict goes, hey, I'm going to go to the White House. I'm going to bring a bag of cocaine. Then I'm going to stuff it in a public area where everyone can find it. Please give me a break. So obviously it wasn't going to be found there. And then this was proven correct. This was found near the Situation Room, which was now supposedly abandoned and been under construction, even though White House didn't say anything about that, because now they're in damage mode, right? They're trying to negate the severity of finding a bag of cocaine where a bunch of executives are. They then go ahead and try to point it at the workers, the construction workers, which is interesting considering that all construction, I happen to know about this because I used to work for a company who actually remodeled the bathrooms of the White House, is that you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. You can't take any photos. You can't release the work you did. You can't discuss the work you did. You can't lay what type of material you made. Everything is top secret. The company was vetted through and through, and in no way can we market it. There's no way we could put work done at the White House. Nothing. It's completely secretive. Now, we can talk about it and say, hey, we did some work at the White House. But as far as that, anything else can't be discussed. So what you've done is you've laid it at the feet of a bunch of construction workers that nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows which company did it, and it's awfully convenient. So I don't think that's the case. The second whole story was of Hunter Biden not being there. Well, if they're lying about the location, why the heck would we pretend that they may not be lying about the date that it was found? I mean, isn't this safe to assume that on a July 4th weekend, specifically on a Monday, to release this information, to then go ahead and say the Bidens were out of town might just be damage control? Now this is going to be a full investigation. The Republicans are going to get involved. Secret Service is going to get involved. There will be an oversight committee to try to find out about this one bag of cocaine. But is that really the problem? Because here's the thing. If I was a Democrat, I would want what the GOP and the Republicans want. The Republicans want this to be Hunter Biden. They need it to be Hunter Biden. They need Hunter Biden to pay for everything he's done, blah, 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 blah. And that is just political frustration. And people want to see the same level of bend over, it's going up the keister that Donald Trump has went through and apply it to the Biden family. And that is just reciprocity. And that's a normal feeling and a normal reaction. I'm not saying I feel that way. I'm just trying to put it in perspective. But the Democrats should want Hunter Biden absolutely held accountable and have it be his cocaine. And I'll tell you why. Is because the other side of this is that it's somebody else's cocaine. And somebody was able to bring a white powdery substance, a rock throw from the Oval Office and a simple turnaround and glance at the Situation Room, where executives, chief of staff, joint chiefs, head of alphabet agencies all go through that executive entrance. It's terrifying to think that there was a failure and a breakdown in the most secure location in the world, and it is. The second thing is that you better hope it was Hunter Biden, or you better hope it was some construction worker, because that means some executive who makes decisions about national security or makes decisions about where veterans and soldiers go, or which mission is going to be a priority versus another, that if the red phone rings and a decision is made and that person is on watch, or that person has the responsibility to answer that phone and make a decision while the president sleeps, which happens all the time. Look at Hillary Clinton, who failed miserably with Benghazi. Do we really want a cokehead on that roster? Every single day, there are people who deal with addiction. I'm one of them. And after my back surgeries, I went through hell to get off hydrocodone and OxyContin. And I can't begin to tell you, but I was a barely functional habitual addict. And there's a difference between being addicted and habitual. And there are a lot of people out there who get on it because of pain management. And luckily that practice has been reduced to basically nil because of Donald Trump and his policies to stop the opioid crisis in the United States. So I understand that people suffer from addiction. And I also understand that two out of three people have been addicted to opiates who have taken them and not even known it, because they're so addictive. Within 7 days, you can have withdrawal symptoms from coming off opiates. They're very dangerous. We understand there's people who do cocaine. We understand there's people who do heroin. We understand all of these things. But in the nation's capital, these aren't normal people. These aren't human beings. They have unbelievably difficult jobs to make the most complex decisions. And we don't need people who are doing the nose candy or taking a few drinks of whiskey in their off hour in order to quench the thirst to be intoxicated, to get their artificial high, making decisions for this government. Could it be the director of the CIA? Could it be the White House chief of staff? Could it be someone who works on writing the State of the Union? Could it be Kamala Harris? And after the videos that I've seen today from her, I don't know, it might be. This isn't about a bag of cocaine. This is about an administration who is openly lying about a bag of cocaine, and we have to ask ourselves why. That truly is the most important thing in any society, when the individual rights are paramount. It's not the how, it's not the what. The most important thing is the why. Why does government restrict speech? Why does government censor people through social media? Why is the government using the press secretary's position to lie to the American people? Why is there cocaine in the White House? The who, the what, the when, and all that stuff is simply window dressing, and creates that inquisitive mind and that curiousness that should always ask the question, why? Personally, if somebody wants to go out and do cocaine, that's their choice. If somebody wants to drink, that's their choice. If somebody wants to be a porn addict, once again, it's all choice. Somebody wants to pretend to be a woman when they're a man, once again, that's their choice. But when you work in the most secure and important building in the world, and you represent 326 million people, you should have a higher standard. You should be emulating what you expect from your citizenry. And when you don't, all Americans should be frustrated. All Americans should be upset. All Americans should speak out. Yes, even over a simple bag of cocaine, and ask why it's there and why nobody will address it with an open and honest conversation. Makes us suspect of what's going on. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. If you like the show, you want to see more of the show, that's fine. Stop on by 8 o'clock tonight at the DUM Show across all social media. Olivia and I will be on live. We'll talk more about this and also the other events of today. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can go to the DUM store at thedumshow.com, pick yourself up a cool shirt, coffee, and other things. And 10% goes back to veterans, and you can save 10% by using code DUM10. I will go out like I always do with the Veteran Crisis Hotline. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tonight.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice than service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important, you are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call